The year is 2025. We find ourselves at a crossroads, a moment of immense consequence where the specter of conflict looms large. From the smoldering ruins of Gaza to the tense standoff in the South China Sea, the world is gripped by a series of interconnected crises. These are not isolated incidents, but symptoms of a deeper malaise, a fraying of the global order that has held the forces of chaos at bay for decades. Understanding the root causes and potential ramifications of these conflicts is paramount, not just for policymakers and diplomats, but for every citizen of this interconnected world. The resurgence of old rivalries, the rise of new ideologies, and the breakdown of trust between nations have created a tinderbox-like atmosphere. Economic uncertainty, climate change, and mass migration only serve to exacerbate these tensions, pushing the world closer to the brink. The consequences of inaction are too dire to contemplate. We must confront these challenges head-on, with a clear-eyed assessment of the stakes and a commitment to finding peaceful and sustainable solutions. The world is watching, waiting to see if we have the wisdom and the will to navigate this perilous moment. Will we rise to the challenge, or will we succumb to the forces of division and destruction? The answer, as always, lies in our collective hands. In the Middle East, the Israeli-Palestinian conflict continues to fester, a seemingly intractable wound on the global conscience. The recent collapse of the ceasefire in Gaza has led to a resumption of hostilities, with devastating consequences for civilians on both sides. The situation is further complicated by the return of former U.S. President Donald Trump to the political stage, with his pro-Israel stance emboldening hardliners within the Israeli government. Meanwhile, the war in Ukraine grinds on, with no end in sight. Russian President Vladimir Putin has shown no willingness to negotiate a peaceful settlement, and his recent rejection of a proposed ceasefire on energy infrastructure suggests that the conflict is likely to escalate further. The international community remains divided on how to respond, with some calling for increased military support for Ukraine, while others urge a diplomatic solution. Adding to the global unease is the ongoing uncertainty surrounding Iran's nuclear ambitions. Despite renewed efforts by the Biden administration to revive the Iran nuclear deal, a comprehensive agreement remains elusive. The situation is fraught with risk, as any miscalculation could lead to a regional arms race or even a direct military confrontation. Beyond these immediate crises, the world is also grappling with a fundamental shift in the global balance of power. China's rise as an economic and military superpower is reshaping the geopolitical landscape, challenging the long-held dominance of the United States. This rivalry is playing out on multiple fronts, from trade disputes to military exercises in the South China Sea. The increasing assertiveness of China has raised concerns among its neighbors, particularly Taiwan, which faces growing pressure from Beijing. The potential for a conflict in the Taiwan Strait remains a major flashpoint in the region, with the potential to draw in other global powers. The United States, while committed to upholding Taiwan's autonomy, is wary of being drawn into a direct conflict with China. These tensions are heightened by the ongoing trade war between the U.S. and China, which has disrupted global supply chains and slowed economic growth. The two superpowers are locked in a battle for technological supremacy, with implications for everything from artificial intelligence to 5G networks. The outcome of this competition will have profound implications for the future of the global economy and the balance of power in the 21st century. As we navigate this complex and uncertain landscape, it is more important than ever to stay informed about world affairs. The conflicts and challenges we face today are interconnected and require a nuanced understanding of history, culture, and geopolitics. We must resist the temptation to retreat into isolationism or to embrace simplistic solutions to complex problems. Instead, we must engage with the world in a spirit of cooperation and mutual respect. We must support international institutions that promote dialogue and diplomacy, and we must hold our leaders accountable for pursuing policies that advance peace and security. The future of our planet depends on our ability to find common ground and work together to address the challenges we face. The path ahead will not be easy, but it is a path we must take together. By staying informed, engaging in constructive dialogue, and demanding action from our leaders, we can help to create a more peaceful and just world for all.